And welcome back to the Green Logbook. Good to have you all back here. Just saw some folks commenting on there. Hey, Backwoods Law. Hey, welcome, dude. It says, "Where is Gunner at?" Good evening. It is. It's good afternoon here in sunny Southern California. It's a bit too sunny. I had to turn on the AC after a long time. But yeah, so I was doing some research here, as I normally do, kind of sitting at my computer, knocking out some homework, doing things, and came across the House Committee on Veterans Affairs. And I thought, you know what, as I'm doing some research here, let me just go live and share this with the masses, because folks need to know about what's going on. I don't like to keep this to myself. So I figured, why not share? So yes, real quick shout outs to some of the folks. Hey, Backwoods Law, welcome, my man. Good to have you. Claim Climbers. Yeah, I feel like I just talked to you, my man. So Claim Climbers and I had a nice little chat today as part of his podcast, and I won't share too much of it. Whenever it comes out, it comes out. I'll let you announce that, my man. So welcome to the live stream. So with that, let me see what we got here. The Humble Veteran. So glad I made it, my man. Yeah. Thank you for showing up, man. So I actually started this one a little bit later than I normally do, as I was just, again, knocking out some homework here. Started reading on some legislation stuff that's coming out through the Housing Committee on Veterans Affairs. And I thought, you know what, let me share this with the masses. So I don't just keep all the research to myself. I wanted to let others enjoy what I'm actually going through right now. So let me adjust this camera and we'll get right into it. Let's see. How's that? Good? Works? Awesome. Good evening. The thank you, bro. Yeah, appreciate you so much. Yeah, I appreciate you, Claim Climbers. 616 Love, good to see you. Good evening. Like, I read that wrong. I thought you said like and unsubscribe. I'm like, no, but please do like and subscribe. So here we go. Homebody Miss Katie, awesome to have you. So I came up with this. Let me see if I can actually make this look a little bit better than that. Just a couple little slides here, just to help out and on what I'm going to be talking about. Let's go with slideshow. Let's go with this. Let's go with, bam. All right, that should work out a little bit better. Okay, so stop this, add this, all the good stuff. All right, this will work out. Hey, Homebody Miss Katie, hey. What's going on? Oh, is that a new profile picture you got there? Awesome. All right, here we go. Add to the screen. Okay, so easy enough. What I did here was I just plugged in all the stuff that I was researching. I usually put this in like a Google Doc and stuff like that. I just plugged it into to AI and let it spit out some PowerPoint. So if you didn't know that AI could do that, yes, it can do that. It can spit out some PowerPoints for you. Okay, 16 veteran bills moved to Congress. These are not law yet. Okay, you can find these on the Housing Committee. It is the House Committee on Veterans Affairs. Easy enough. Let me see here. Yeah, the hat is nice. I like the hat. So moving forward here real quick. Okay, so the way it works, committee action, not final law, broad veteran impact areas, best viewer framing. So I'm just going to kind of talk a little bit about this. And this is the categories, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so the first one, HR 2283, that was introduced here. Okay, the Recover Act creates a 3-year VA pilot program for eligible outpatient mental health providers, funds evidence-based healthcare for vets delivered in person or through telehealth, allows support for outreach, care coordination, clinician training, veteran engagement, outcome tracking. Okay, this bill is about getting veterans mental health care closer to where they actually live. It is not law yet. Okay, so you can find all of these on the actual website, House Committee on Veterans Affairs. I'm on there all the time. They track all the legislation on there, so you can easily look this stuff up. So this is the first one here. This one specifically covers mental health care. Next one up, we got Beacon Act of 2026. Specifically, this one is HR 6993. Okay, it's Veterans TBI Breakthrough Explorations of Adaptive Care Opportunities Nationwide Act. All right, that is a mouthful, but it creates a 3-year TBI innovation grant program focused on chronic mild traumatic brain injury, supports prospective randomized control trials for neurorehabilitation treatments, and encourages partnership amongst community organizations, academic institutions, healthcare facilities, and VHA sites. Okay, it's specifically for vets living with TBI. It's about turning invisible injuries into measurable treatment options. It's just something, little code I put on there. And again, not law yet. Let me see if, okay, everything's recording. All right, good. So that's the second one. Wait until the last one, because the last one has to do with VA disability stuff and DBQs and all this fraud stuff going on that you guys have been hearing about. So stand by. Backwoods Law. Hey, hopefully I don't give you like the PTSD and death by PowerPoint and all that stuff. This is just probably the easiest way I can get it across, or else you would have to see this mug just talking to you the whole time. Nobody wants to look at this. So I figured visual aids work, right? So let me get back into this here real quick. Yes, that's correct. I seen we do have the Memorial Day lineup. I'm glad you brought that up. I will talk about that right after this. But yes, I'm super excited about that. Right. So I really want to get into that, and I'll bring it up here shortly. Where was I? Here we go. Oh, no, that's too small. Y'all can't read that, can you? Oh man. All right, let's add that to the stage. It's huge. All right. No, what the hell? Now y'all messed me up. There we go. That's a little better. Okay, next one up. We got the CRUISE Act, Centralized Reimbursement for Upgraded Innovative Service Equipment Act. It requires the VA to improve payment timelines for automobile sellers serving certain disabled veterans, centralizes the payment process, and requires tracking and resolution of seller payments outstanding longer than 90 days. So not really affecting the VA or the veterans directly, but if a disabled veteran qualifies for an adaptive vehicle, the payment system, there shouldn't be a roadblock there. So I think there's going to be less of a roadblock. This one specifically is HR 7083. If you're tracking this, it's called the CRUISE Act. Okay, next one up here, bill number 4 that I'm tracking is 7103, Improving Emerging Tech Opportunities for Veterans Act. Okay, expands veteran education opportunities in emerging technology fields. All right, this one's pretty big, especially now that they're introducing vet tech, right? That's coming out in June, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. It adds emerging technology to VA's high technology education program framework, calls out critical fields such as artificial intelligence and semiconductor manufacturing, which seems to be the way of the future now, and or the present, should I say, and aims to connect veterans to education programs tied to future workforce demand. All right. So again, if you want to track this one, it is HR 7103. Let me take this little banner thing off that I have so you all can see exactly what it is. Okay. So you'll see the HR. That's where you just plug into like the legislation or wherever you find your stuff. And this is the actual name of it here. All right. Next one up. Excuse me. U.S. Vets of the FAS Act. Okay. Health services for veterans in the freely associated states. Requires the VA to work with freely associated states, governments to establish health service agreements. Requires telehealth services and mail order pharmacy access at a minimum, and adds timelines for outreach agreements, implementation, and quarterly reporting to Congress. Okay, this is for veterans living outside the continental U.S. And the bill focuses on geography, logistics, and making VA care more reachable. All right. So, okay. Again, this is HR 6652. And I think this might, I'll have to do some more research on this, but this might affect the folks who are like living in the Philippines or something like that, the Pacific outerlying areas where there may be VA healthcare areas. Okay, Veterans Flight Training Responsibility Act of 2026. If anybody's looking to do some flight training after they left the service, this one might be for you. Okay, it sets a lifetime cap on post 9/11 GI Bill tuition and fee payments for covered flight training programs. All right, the cap is looks like academic year beginning August 1st, 2026 is $119,684. That is some expensive flight training, but I guess you get what you pay for, and you want to pay if you want some good flight training, you're going to pay for it, right? So just stand by for that and be prepared for that. Tony Slaughter, welcome to the chat, dude. This one's HR 5634, Veterans Flight Training Responsibility Act of 2026. Okay, and all these were proposed on May 14th, so just 5 days ago. All of these that I'm bringing up here just dropped like 5 days ago, and they're proposing all this stuff to the House. So this is all fairly new stuff here. Okay, next one up is bill number 7, HR 6444, Blast Overpressure Research and Mitigation Task Force Act. Okay, creates a VA task force focused on blast exposure and long-term effects. It directs the VA to establish a blast overpressure task force within 180 days of its enactment. Requires the VA and the DoD coordination through the Joint Executive Committee structure, prioritizes research and care improvements for TBI, PTSD, and symptoms tied to blast exposure. Okay, so if you've ever had any kind of blast exposure or know somebody who has, this potentially will look into that or at least help out the situation. HR 6444. So claim climbers, yeah, that I know we talked a little bit about that. With your background, this might affect you here. Okay, next one up, VA Congressional Accountability Act. Okay, this is the eighth one that they dropped. This is HR 7950. It creates a formal Office of Congressional and Legislative Affairs inside of the VA. Okay, it's going to establish an Office of Congressional and Legislative Affairs as the VA's principal liaison with Congress. It requires the office to coordinate hearings, briefings, testimony, requests for information, and legislative proposals. And it adds leadership and staffing rules intended to separate policy, strategy, and operational response. Okay, so just understand that they're looking to increase accountability here. Now, it's written on here. It matters. It's going to be a slow process, right? It matters because slow answers from the VA become slow fixes for veterans. We want to speed this stuff up a little bit. Okay, next one up is VA Fiscal Management and Modernization Act. It clarifies and expands the VA's financial management authority. It designates the Assistant Secretary for Management as VA's Chief Financial Officer. This is more internal to the VA, right? Defines CFO duties, that's Chief Financial Officer duties across budgeting, financial control, accounting, auditing, reporting, creates a legislative and congressional budget information office for certified budget information. Okay, so it has to do with the budgets. It has to do with modernizing all this stuff. If you want to track it, it's HR 7683. It's called VA Fiscal Management Modernization Act. Okay. Next one up, the VIP Act. All right, this one's for patient safety. Veteran Infection Prevention Act. All right. Now listen to this one because I didn't know that this was not. This one kind of surprised me. It requires the VHA sterile processing technicians to hold an appropriate professional certificate. It allows a 2-year window after appointment for certification with entry-level exceptions determined by the VA and provides scholarship support for covered current employees pursuing certifications. So essentially, the folks who clean the equipment that we're using, sterilize it, it's going to require them to get some kind of certification in that. I didn't know that was a thing. I thought people just went in there and just wiped it down with some alcohol or swabs or, I don't know, rags or something. Apparently, you need a certificate to do this. So this one is HR 8052, the VIP Act. Okay. Next one up, we have the Board of Veterans Appeals Annual Report Transparency Act of 2025. This one's the 11th one that they dropped. It's HR 6698. And more transparency on BVA delays and remands. Okay, requires the BVA annual reports to identify factors causing untimely appeal dispositions. Requires reporting on factors contributing to remands, including counts and percentages, and it requires weekly publication of docket dates assigned to board members for decisions. If you want to track this one, HR 6698. Okay, why veterans care. Veterans want to know why appeals stall, not just that they are waiting. Transparency can help identify bottlenecks and pressure VA to fix repeat problems. Real quick, going to the chat, I see some movement. Backwards law, yeah, they had an issue with that at Pittsburgh VA Hospital a few years back. You mean like an issue with sterilization or cleanliness? Is that what you mean? Let me see. Homebody Miss Katie. There was a big thing about some kind of instrument that the VA was using for surgeries that was causing infections. Oh man, that's terrible. That no wonder they introduced this thing. I just didn't know that there was a certification needed for it. I guess they're going to make one, or I guess you can go to school and get a certification for sterilization. I don't know, but good to know. Good to know. Thank you for sharing that. Wait a second. Tony Slaughter, my man. Colonoscopy has issues with sterilization, bro. Ugh. All right. Next one we got is this is the 12th bill that they dropped. It's HR 7260, National Cemetery Administration Annual Report Act of 2026. Simply requires the VA to submit an annual report to Congress on national cemetery administrative activities. It covers interments, customer satisfaction, cemetery maps, burial options, construction grants, unclaimed remains. I didn't know that there were unclaimed remains at VA cemetery or national cemeteries. So that's good to know. Requires the report to be made publicly available in digital form. Good. So again, these are all not law yet. They were introduced by the House Committee on Veterans Affairs on May 14th, just 5 days ago. So fairly new. But again, I was just doing research on all this stuff, and I figured, if I'm doing research on this, if I'm interested in it, I'm sure other people out there are interested in it as well. So why not share the goodness and the information, right? So here we go. Next one up. Bam, this is number 13, HR 3159, Improving SCRA Benefit Utilization Act, okay? Improves education and application of Service Members Civil Relief Act protections. Okay, so what does it do? It adds SCRA financial protections to required financial literacy training for service members, requires notification when members enter service and when reservists are mobilized for more than 30 days, requires creditors to apply interest rate protections across eligible pre-service debts with that creditor. Okay, why do veterans care? Many service members do not use protections that they are legally entitled to because nobody explains it to them clearly. That seems to be the recurring thing with a lot of stuff in the military and even out of uniform, right? Nobody really explains this to us. We rely on YouTubers and podcasts to learn about this stuff. And this helps convert legal rights into actual financial relief. Okay. And a benefit you never learn how to use is basically a benefit you don't have. If you don't know how to use it, do you really even know how to use it? Or even that you have it? So this one's 3159, HR 3159, and it's called Improving SCRA Benefit Utilization Act. Okay, next one up. This is the 14th one they dropped. HR 5436, End Transcript Withholding for Veterans Act. Now, this one surprised me because I didn't know that this was a thing. Okay, this stops schools from withholding transcripts solely over institutional debt. Okay, it prohibits educational institutions from withholding transcripts from post 9/11 GI Bill users solely because of debt owed to the institution. It adds the protection of Chapter 33 of Title 38 and focuses on access to records needed for employment, transfer, and further education. Okay, so essentially, withholding a transcript can block a veteran from jobs, graduate school, licensing, and transferred schools. It protects the veteran from being trapped after using earned educational benefits. Like, hey, if we're relying on like the government or the VA to pay for this stuff like post 9/11 GI Bill, and they don't pay for it, it should not be on the veteran, right? And I had no idea the schools were withholding transcripts. Like I've never had that issue myself, so I didn't know that existed. I'm wondering if anybody has ever had that issue. Put that in the comments. Like, has a college ever withheld your transcripts if you wanted to transfer somewhere else and they're like, hey, yeah, the post 9/11 GI Bill or the VA did not pay us, so stand by, you're not going to get anything? I'm curious. Let me see, just looking at the comments here real quick. Tony Slaughter, they do not tell you about finance so that you fall into a hole. See, that's unfortunate, right? And I mean, we have to rely on each other for that. And I'm glad that they are coming out with this stuff now. Some high schools do that also. Wow. Are these like private high schools maybe that you have to pay for, and if you don't pay? Or is it like if you're owed, or if you owe the high school some kind of money, they will withhold your diploma from you? Backwoods Law, you will learn about that. You will learn about with your master's program, Vic. Most employers will not accept a copy you give them. They need the university send it. Yeah, I completely understand that. I mean, they need the official transcripts that are unopened in the envelope versus the unofficial transcripts, right? Good to know. Good to know. All right, let's dive back into this beast here. Okay, so that one was HR 5436 and transcript withholding for Veterans Act, if you are interested in that. Next bill up that they introduced was bill number 15. This is HR 5999, Veteran Opioid Emergency Treatment Act. Okay, it requires access to opioid overdose reversal medication without prescription or a copay. Okay, what this does is directs the VA to furnish an opioid antagonist to a veteran without requiring a prescription. Okay, eliminates the co-payment barrier tied to furnishing the medication, and it includes a technical offset through VA home loan fee date changes. Okay, this is about removing barriers to a life-saving overdose reversal medication. So track this one closely. HR 5999. There you go. 3 nines. 1539. Veteran Opioid Emergency Treatment Act. Okay, now the last one that they introduced, okay, which has to do with DBQs and all that stuff, all this fraudulent stuff that we hear online and that a lot of YouTubers are like putting out there, and we wonder, what is this all about? Well, it looks like they're doing something about it here. So let's kick this pig and see what the last one up here is. Bill number 16, Fraud in VA Disability Exams Act. Okay, Fraud Reduction and Uncovering Deception in VA Disability Exams Act. Okay, it requires the VA to identify and report suspected fraud involving disability benefits questionnaire forms. Okay, I know we've heard a lot about that in the veteran YouTube sphere. So if you need to track this, HR 5723 is the number. Okay, it requires a recurring audit process and routes suspected fraud to investigatory bodies, including the VA OIG, and limits reopening final decisions unless there is a related criminal conviction. So essentially, they won't reopen your stuff unless there is a conviction, right? So let's see here. Fraud damages trust in the claim system. Yes, we know this. And can hurt legitimate veterans waiting on decisions. We also know this. The limitation language matters because veterans worry about broad claim reopenings. Yes. So write that down if you think it may affect you. HR 5723. Again, these can all be found on the House Committee on Veterans Affairs website. And one thing that you will always find from my side is anytime I bring up some kind of, I don't know, some kind of training or some kind of update, there's 9 times out of 10, there's going to be a source behind it. Okay. I don't just think of things to put on a live stream or put on a video. I may give my opinions, but for the most part, if it has to do with something that may impact veterans' lives, I will usually have a source behind that. And, I'll put that in the description as well. So real quick, going over to the comments here. Backwards law, that makes sense. Although most states you can go to a local pharmacy and they will give you a nasal applicator for Narcan. All right. See, I didn't know that. That's great. That's great to know. Great to know. 660 Love, no public and private. They withhold diplomas and transcripts if you owe fees. Oh, okay. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, if you owe fees like lunch fees or something like that, you've been eating lunch and you put racking up a bill. Yeah, they got to get theirs too, right? So they're going to charge you for what you owe them in order to get your diploma. I completely get that. HR 3639. Let me look that one up here. I'm gonna no, don't do that. Don't. That's terrible, dude. I just read that. I'm gonna fake bonds and get benefits. No, you're talking about that one vet. That one vet he was like 78 years old, and I don't know if anybody ever heard that story. And I read about it here the last couple of weeks or last week. I think it was Mo Perspective, that channel. She mentioned it to me. There was like some 70-something-year-old veteran who was faking blindness in order to he accumulated somewhere like $245,000 of VA benefits over that time. Faking blindness. I mean, I don't know. I mean, how do you even do that? I can't see. I mean, a lot of stuff. People get creative, right? People get creative. I'm not. Don't do that. Let me see here. So I wrote down a couple of bottom lines for veterans here. Bottom line: some of these bills are direct care issues. Some are oversight and reporting bills. Some protect access to education, financial protections, and claims integrity. None of this is guaranteed until the full process is complete. Just understand that all these bills that I just mentioned on here, they are not law yet. They are not law yet. Okay. Let me see here. And you can let me actually put the link to the House Committee on Veterans Affairs, the direct link to where I found all this stuff. So everybody out there can access this goodness here. So BAMSIS, and there you go. veterans.house.gov/ all this other gibberish that goes along with the address. So I even gave myself some notes on here, if you can see down here. Reminder for the recording: reported out of committee, not passed into law. Yes, not passed into law. So that's what it is. I mean, it's they're coming out with some stuff, and a lot of it looks like it's going to benefit the veteran, like the SCRA thing is going to benefit the active duty service member. I didn't know about the SCRA thing until somebody had mentioned it to me. Like, hey, I was a young Marine and my credit card interest rate was super high. They're like, hey, yeah, get a hold of SCRA. I'm like, what is this? What is SCRA? And sure enough, the leadership helped me out. So who else has used SCRA? I'm curious. Let's cancel this. Let's put this down. Yep, there you go. Uh, yeah, so that veteran that you're talking about, he was a school security officer, carried guns to school, and he was also some kind of firearms expert or something like that. But yeah, exactly. That when I read the story, I figured, what the hell? He was blind. Like, how's he know where to shoot? How's he hold that job if he's blind? So a lot of things didn't add up there, right? Let me see here. No, don't do that. Toby's. Oh man, don't go into Toby's, man. That's outside New River, isn't it? Toby's. Uh, okay, I have not used it, but since some, yeah. So thankful that you did that, man, because it does help a lot of folks. I think you can get out of through SCRA. You can get out of leases if you need to, like if you got PCS orders or something like that, and you need to break a lease. Under SCRA, they, I guess you have to do that. They have to allow you to do that. Somebody had brought up the Memorial Day live stream, and yes, I am excited about that. I am excited about that. Thank you for bringing that up. So it all started when I got this silly idea to, hey, why don't we just get these folks who have these YouTube channels who like to put out good information, and let's just kind of get together and talk about the ones that remember the ones who came before us. Talk about what we usually talk about on our channels, veteran benefits, and just kind of like get together like friends, right? So that's exactly what I did. I emailed all these folks. I'm like, hey guys, got an idea. What do you think about this? And they were all down for it. And I just heard from Raider HQ yesterday or this morning maybe. He's like, yeah, I'm cool. Like, I don't know if the guy just check his emails or what, but no, it's all good. We got a hold of him, and he said, I'm game. Let's do it. So there's going to be, I think, 5 of us. My co-host John from the Military Retirement Podcast is on there as well. So just wondering, like, I don't know if we have to have like a little hand raising thing on the live stream, just in case somebody wants to talk. But it is going to be me. It's going to be the Civ Div. It's going to be the Salty Old Marine, Doc Sharma from Concise Psych, Raider HQ, and my co-host John from Military Retirement Podcast. Yeah, I'm sure he does have a ton of emails here, and yeah, he did it to himself. He opened up that can of worms, so he's gonna have to live with that one. But it's a good problem to have, right? He's helping folks out, so I'm happy about that. That's good. So yeah, that's coming up on Memorial Day, 4 p.m. Pacific time. That's what, 7 p.m. Eastern time. So yes, can't wait for that. Let me see. I'm just going through some of the comments here because I know I missed some up here. I bet they were trying to get some CWOs who are transitioning out to go into medical flight training, etc. Quite possibly, a lot of Army and Chief Warrant Officers are I think pilots, right? Helicopter pilots. So not me though. I was not one of those Chief Warrant Officers. They don't do that in the Marine Corps. Just reading some of your comments on here. Yeah, so this is the link. I dropped the link to the Veterans House Committee on Veterans Affairs, if anybody wants that. Let's see, Backwoods says, I will be here for it. Sounds like a good time. Chewing the fat and telling stories to get the women to swoon. I don't have any of those stories, dude. That's a comment. Just back, just fed the squirrel. I was tapping on the window. What did you feed the squirrel, man? Between talking about colonoscopies and stuff, like, I'm curious, what did you feed the squirrel? Tony Slaughter says, go in there like Ray Charles. Oh, hell no, man. All right, man. Tony Slaughter, I don't know about you, man. Colonoscopy is nuts. Hold on. Give me a second, guys. Give me a second. Somebody's at my door. I got a no soliciting sign, and these dudes are just standing there. Usually when that happens, I just walk outside and, take the shirt off and just stand there and don't say anything. Just stare straight at them. But just give me a minute. All right, back at it. Back at it. Yeah. No, you know what it was, man? It was a squirrel knocking at my front door, and I just fed it some nuts to make it go away. So, just like Tony Slaughter here. It's Todd from the IRS. No, hell no. I wouldn't even open the door, dude. Come on now. It's not the county marshal, I promise. No, so hey, good stuff from this housing committee, House Committee on Veterans Affairs. Man, a lot of good information that they just dropped. Again, all these 16 bills that they dropped were on May 14th, and now it's en route to get looked at, I guess, by the House to see if they can put this stuff into law. So hopefully they can, because there's a lot of good information in there that could potentially help a lot of veterans, including a lot of accountability. They're trying to figure out where money's going and, how to establish budgets, et cetera, et cetera. Sorry. Yeah, I don't have that problem, Tony Slaughter. No child support. Sorry, man. County marshal. Yeah, the county marshal. It is not the county marshal. I saw something up here I was going to bring up too, damn it, and I cannot remember what it was. Oof. It was the vet tech thing, right? So the vet tech thing, June, the VA. I made a video on it, right? The VA is introducing vet tech, a way to get folks who have exhausted their GI Bill, and if you have anything other than a dishonorable discharge, that means like an honorable discharge, general under honorable conditions, you are under 62 years old, and it doesn't matter if you have exhausted your entire GI Bill or not, they are allowing you to qualify for vet tech. This is the VA's new program. It's so new that it has not even opened up for applications yet. But when it does, it's limited to 4,000 veterans per fiscal year. So it's going to fill up pretty quick, right? Especially for those folks who have exhausted their GI Bill. Why is it going to fill up pretty quick? Well, they're also giving you a monthly housing allowance, same as like VRNE or GI Bill. All right. So it's going to pay for you to go to school. Now, it's not a degree seeking program. It's only for certifications, but it has to do with like IT and, computer based certifications. So definitely check that out. It's called Vet Tech 2.0. I will tell you, if you have any of your GI Bill left, they will do a 1-for-1 swap. So if you use 1 month of vet tech, they will take 1 month of your GI Bill. So personally, I wouldn't use it until I exhausted my entire GI Bill. But for those who have exhausted their entire GI Bill, do it. Get at it. Work on it. Get your monthly housing allowance. I don't know if it's equivalent to the BAH, E5 with dependents, but if it is, that is a hell of a deal. Hell of a deal. There was a guy who had a bunch of kids on child support. His check was what check? Like his work check or his like VA check? It's terrible. Love yourself. Konnichiwa. Buenas tardes. Good evening, veterans. Semper fidelis. Siempre fiel. I used to have a Marine who he would not pronounce the P in semper, but it sounded like a B. Sember. Semberfi. Work check. Oh, no, hell no, dude. Can you imagine that? You imagine like working your butt off and just getting $140? Like, how do you live? How do you live at that point? I guess stop having so many kids, right? I mean, that's rough, dude. That's rough. Oliver Russ, my man, welcome. Good to have you, buddy. So yeah, anybody who's just joining us, I just covered 16 different bills that are being introduced by the House Committee on Veterans Affairs. They have to do with, and here, let me pop open my Death by PowerPoint thing. Where is it? They have to do with health and brain injuries, education and transition, VA oversight and reporting, and protections and claims integrity, specifically like the Recover Act, the Beacon Act, the Blast Over Pressure, VIP, opioid emergency. Actually, I'll give you all these right now here. If anybody wants to write any of these down here, it is the HR 2283, the Recover Act, Recognizing Community Organization for Veteran Engagement and Recovery Act, HR 6993, the Beacon Act of 2026. Oh my God, the text is so small I can't even see. I don't want to pop on my eyeglasses for my reading glasses while I'm on a live stream, so I gotta make this a little bit bigger. All right, the Beacon Act. Let's see here. Veterans TBI Breakthrough Exploration of Adaptive Care Opportunities Nationwide. That is HR 6993. Actually, I'll do you one better. I will consolidate all these into one slide and I'll just kind of throw them up there really quick. So let me see here. Consolidate. Just knock this out here really quick on the live stream. See if that works here. Bam. Man, doing things on the live stream on the fly. Hell yeah. Here we go. So yeah, I think the one that is going to affect a lot of vets, from what I understand, from what I see online, from what I see a lot of folks navigating to, is the HR 5723. That is the Fraud in VA Disability Exams Act, Fraud Reduction and Uncovering Deception in VA Disability Exams Act. That one, I don't know how it works. So somebody had mentioned on a comment on one of my videos that the actual veterans are not going to be affected by this. It is the people doing, like the doctors doing these things. Got it. And then I was accused of fear mongering and all that stuff. Well, whatever it is, man, I'd rather be informed than not. That's why I made the video. So all good. If that is fear mongering, then that's what it is. But yeah, I'm curious how this is going to go and how they're going to hold people accountable for this because it is a big thing. Let's see if this thing finished already. Nope, not yet. Not yet. Yeah, so we have, again, shout out to the folks out there who are going to make it with us to the Memorial Day live stream scheduled for May 25th, 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time. It's going to be awesome. We got the Civ Div, Raider HQ. We got the Salty Old Marine. We've got my co-host John from Military Retirement Podcast, Dr. Sharma from Concise Psych, and myself. We're going to be all together on the live stream coming up and just talking good stuff. You know, remembering those who came before us, who gave the ultimate sacrifice, and also talking about our own service. Talking about, you know, normally what we put out on our channels as well. Good veteran information for the masses. So that's going to be good. This Monday, yeah, exactly. This Monday. And Sunday, we have, I don't know if you've heard of David Piatek. So David runs the VA Housing Education YouTube channel. He's going to be on the Sunday live stream as well. We're going to be talking VA home loan stuff and other benefits. He's also a veteran himself, so I think he's a reservist. But totally looking forward to that and connecting with fellow vets out there. So I'm curious if you all have somebody who you want me to connect with and potentially have them on the live stream or maybe do an episode with them. Let me know who you'd like to have on. Let me know who you'd like to see. Backwards Law. Okay. The read I have on it is they're going after the claim shark types that are cutting and pasting in narratives and DBQs. Don't think it would really touch the vet. Yeah, I think so as well. Because it's going to be a canned response, right? They're going to be looking at, I mean, it's a good way to use AI as well, right? Identify, you know, whose DBQs or whose claims have this exact wording in it or these keywords, and they'll be able to highlight all those. So it wouldn't be hard to find, I don't think. But yeah, I have to assume that there's a ton out there, folks who have used like certain services that just use canned responses. You should interview Don and DJ Shipley. You know, I like DJ's his son, right? Yeah. So Don, I watched some of his videos, like the Navy SEAL stuff. I was just talking to some of the Navy SEAls here at the. They had a tent up at that Navy bridge run that I did over Coronado, and just talking to them, not about Don or anything like that, just like saying, "Hey, what's up?" But yeah, I mean, they all kind of know each other, so that could be a real thing. It might happen. We'll see. He called his son. So I seen a lot of videos coming out from him, but I did not know. Didn't see any of those videos. I just usually watch his videos when he like confronts people, like, "Hey man, I heard you were saying you're a Navy SEAL. What's the deal?" You know, he's like, "I can't find you in my Navy SEAL roster," you know, and he's got his iPad. That shit is hilarious to me, because I have come across people who claim that they have been Marines too, and I'm like, and then we get to talking, and they say some off the wall stuff, and I'm like, no, this doesn't add up. You know, what are you talking about? Like, I encountered somebody I went to a party. One of my kids went to a party, and this person mentioned that they went to Navy officer training, but they didn't. And I mentioned to the person, I'm like, "Oh, so you went to like Newport, you know, to like the OCS?" And they're like, no, it wasn't in Newport. And they couldn't remember where the hell it was. I'm like, but hold on a second. Because as far as I know, that's where they have OCS training, right? So things didn't from then on, things didn't add up. So, I'm just kind of picking a little bit at it. And after a while, I was like, yeah, you weren't a Navy officer or anything like that. Like you didn't serve. They got real offended by it. I'm like, especially when I said, they asked me, hey, did you serve? And I'm like, yeah, I did. What were you? I'm like, I was a Chief Warrant Officer 3. And this person's like, I haven't heard of that. Is that like an officer? I'm like, here we go. That was my first indication. So yeah, they're out there. He called himself. Yeah, I did not know that. So I'd be curious to watch some of that stuff. It is a small community. It is stupid to try to fake that. Yes, it is. Why does nobody ever fake being like admin in the army or something? Like I was admin. Why does nobody ever fake that? Or like I was I don't know what's the warehouse MOS. I was in warehousing. You never see that, right? You never see people like I was this. I was a logistician. Like no, you weren't. And I have my tracker here that shows everybody who was a logistician, a warehouseman. Is this you? Tony Slaughter. I saw a guy in Florida Ave, Northeast DC. He had a wheelchair get up. Oh, he stopped himself from getting up when a guy in the raised truck reached out with $1. Wow. I knew a vet who was medical, but had his story about being an aviator. Was he like a flight surgeon? Because then I can see how that could get mixed up a little bit, right? Like Dr. Sharma from Concise Psych, he was a flight surgeon. First time ever when I joined the Marine Corps, when the first time I ever had to go see the flight surgeon, I was like, why the hell am I going to see the flight surgeon? Are they going to put me on a plane and do surgery? Like, what does that even mean? It just happens to be somebody who's attached to whatever the unit, and they just wear a flight suit and they're a doctor. I don't know. Greens, Rangers, SEALs, they all know you or can find out and have Harvey. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, completely understand. Oh, okay. He was World War II. He was a bomber pilot, he claimed. Oh, okay. I mean, and you know what? Being a medic is that's like an awesome job too. I don't know why folks would come out and try to say otherwise. I think being a medic would be cool, Yeah, I've Oliver Rust. I've heard that too. I've heard that at the airport actually, sniper, and I have a good friend who actually was a sniper, and so I started texting him, and he's like, "Ask him this, ask him that, ask him this," and the dude was like, he didn't know half the stuff, like he couldn't remember, and this is what it was. So they're out there. They're definitely out there. Just be proud of the service, man. It's all good. Medics are a rare breed and not many of them as well. Yeah, exactly. And a lot of them who, like in the Navy, if you got like your um, FMF pin, Fleet Marine Forces pin, essentially, I mean, they would wear, Marine Corps attire, the Marine Corps camis. So, docs and they're we're as Marines, like we rely on the docs a lot. So, you know, they're kind of accepted into the community a little bit, especially when they add those FMF pins. Yeah, that's a big thing for them too. Yeah, that's yeah. Yeah, there was somebody on here. I don't know, somebody in the chat or maybe just a few weeks ago, they mentioned that they were getting hated on because they were a cook. But I'm thinking like, dude, I mean, cooks are the ones who like bring morale to the field. Like if you're training out in the field and you see some hot chow pull up, that is a morale booster, you know, morale booster. When you don't have to eat MREs for 3 days in a row and the chow truck pulls up, or, you know, they start setting up like the tables and all that. Oh man, with some hot chow, oof, that's amazing. Yeah, yeah. So when I used to go to the rifle range, right, specifically at well, the big rifle ranges like in Camp Lejeune or Camp Pendleton, there's always like those gut trucks, right? The roach trucks or whatever they call them. Um, and these things make a killing, man. I went up to it one time. I got like a burger or something like that. And I just kind of did like mental math and was learning, okay, well, we got like 40 people in line. There's probably like 100 people or plus who come to the ranges. There was like 30 or 40 people in line, if they're each spending like $10 each. And I was like, and this is throughout the course of the day, different ranges, different relays, you know, hours of the day. I'm like, this truck is making well into the several hundreds of thousands of dollars. It was insane. These little gut trucks, these little you know, little fast food trucks that pull up to the rifle ranges. They are making a killing out there. It's crazy. That was just my observation that I thought, you know what, I'm going to buy a golf or a hot dog cart. The Roach coaches, yes, the Roach coaches. I think over in Camp Pendleton, there was a retired major that runs his. It's called Major Munchies, and that dude is just making a killing out there. Just whatever, selling chips for $5. You know, half filled with air, half filled with chips. That's it. Location's everything, and folks don't bring their chow sometimes to the rifle ranges. So what happens? You get in line and you go get your Gatorade or you go get your whatever you drink and your sandwich, and then you tip the girl at the front who all she did was give you the freaking iPad so you can put your thing on there, and you give her people give. I've seen people give her like $5, $10 tip, or I just put it in the tip jar. I'm like, for what? What the hell did she do? You know, it is crazy. It is crazy. Let's read some of your comments here. Yep, yep, yep. I see that. I see that. Tony Slaughter. It's Monday. Yeah. So who mentioned Don Shipley and DJ Shipley? Like I don't realistically, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get some of these folks on there. But as far as like other veteran YouTubers, who would you like to see me connect with? You know, I'm even willing to travel a little bit if I can. You know, given the time frame and you know the logistics behind it, I'm willing to do some traveling as well. Also curious if anybody this coming September, I know it's a few months away, but is anybody heading out to the Military Influencer Conference that is located in Tampa, Florida this year? I think it's the middle of September, and I'm looking to head out there. I know a few other veteran YouTubers heading out there as well. It's at a conference center. If you're going to be out there, hey, we can link up. We can get some chow, drink some, you know, have a beer, whatever it is, and just hang out for a little bit. But I do plan on being out there in September, so that's going to be fun. Let me see. Yeah, so Tony Slaughter, yeah, Sergeant Major Ruiz, yeah. So I sent him an email. We'll see what happens with that. Now I'm well connected with a couple other sergeants major, one being a Navy Cross recipient, uh, who knows Sergeant Major Ruiz as well. So I might have to tap into that and get a hold of Sergeant Major Ruiz. I'd like to talk to him about what he's doing with the force now, He made a lot of good changes, I think, in the force, in the Marine Corps, specifically with like the barracks, with mental health, things like that. He came on board as I was retiring, so I didn't really get to see too much of him. It was Sergeant Major Troy Black who was there while I was in with who was the commandant? It wasn't Conway. It was General Berger. So um, good dudes, though. Good dudes. I would love to connect with Sergeant Major Ruiz. Absolutely. Backwoods Law, you might have fun talking with Colonel Chris Wyatt. Why does that sound familiar? Chris Wyatt, retired Green and a good guy. Green Beret, I assume? Green Beret? Yeah, Green Beret. Okay, gotcha. See Sergeant Major Rees. There's another Sergeant Major I'm going to have on. He's that Navy Cross recipient, Sergeant Major LaHue. So I talked to him a while back. So looking to have him on at some point. Awesome dude, just a warrior all around. So awesome guy, man. If you ever heard of Sergeant Major LaHue, awesome freaking guy. Okay, Green. Yeah, I wouldn't have known. See, just like when Backwoods Law, man. The first time I went to an Army course, I walked in and I was getting called Mister. I'm like, Mister. And usually, like in the Marine Corps, it's just sir, right? You're a chief warrant officer, you get called sir, or by like other officers, they just call you by your first name or whatever it is. Or I think somebody else mentioned, or you might have been you, Backwoods Law. Sometimes they call you gunner. I was never an infantry gunner, but sometimes they call me gunner because that's what the old cats used to call folks. But yeah, when I went to an Army course, they'd call me Mister or Chief. I forgot what else they'd call me, but or no, Warrant. The Warrant. That's what it was. The Warrant. And the Mister. I mean, the Warrant is whatever. I'll accept that, but the Mister kind of was a little strange. I had never heard that until I went to an Army course. This was over in Virginia many, many years ago. Lieutenant Colonel Khan. Hold on, let me write this stuff down. I might have to make some contacts here. If anybody knows any of these people, let me know and make a warm handoff and introduction, because I would love to. Lieutenant Colonel Khan, right? Khan. I have to check this guy out here. Sergeant Major Ruiz. Yep, I already got Sergeant Major Ruiz. Email already went out. There is a near my home. I don't know if he'd actually do it. I live near this gentleman, and I met him at MCRD during an event, and he doesn't live too far away. He's a Medal of Honor recipient. Robert Madrusky. He's a retired Marine colonel. Little guy, short guy, very cool dude. Would have never thought. I mean, if you can see him walking up and down the road, you never think he was a Medal of Honor recipient, but the Medal of Honor recipient doesn't live too far away from me. I was thinking about getting a hold of this guy and actually talking to him. But he might be a little bit on the older side too, so probably pushing his 80s or so. So I don't know if he's willing to talk or what, but we'll see. Tony Slaughter said, "Mad Dog, dude." I have emailed. I'm a big fan. If you mean Mad Dog Mattis, if you mean like Jim Mattis, yeah, I'm a big fan of his. Reached out to him a couple times through his organization, and some of these folks are busy though. They got a lot of stuff going on, so I know he's on a lot of boards and stuff like that. So that'd be. I would love to talk to him. I mean, just pick his brain. Read a lot about him, Um, I know he likes reading, and so do I. So why not? I would love that. I had fun. I had fun getting used to all the ranks when I was at ANMCC. Okay. You know what's fun? You know what ranks are fun because they're like you have to remember the ranks and the rates are the Navy folks because they may be petty officers, but then there's something else. Like whatever their rate is. So that's always fun. Cody Alford. Okay. Komatsos, the Sentinel, Lieutenant Colonel Khan. Yeah, all good recommendations. Thank you all for all that. Um, Very good stuff. My admirals and generals. Yeah. Thanks for that. I'm definitely going to get a hold of some of these folks because I just like to have good conversations with some of them. I have not yet posted it. Just working on the audio, but I did sit down with this gentleman who lives here in Southern California, Navy SEAL type, who is running for PFW commander of all California. So looking forward to dissecting that a little bit, the cutting up the video and then uploading that at some point. He said John Cena, Randy. Man, I'll talk to John Cena. I don't know about talking to Randy Orton, man. I know he was a Marine and all that stuff. But that dude's like, didn't he have like a dishonorable discharge or something? Like this dude, he's all over the place. Does Lieutenant Colonel Khan have I've heard the name. I don't know. Does he have a YouTube channel? I'll look him up here. Yeah, he went UA. Well, I don't know about that. Randy Orton. You know who I'd love to talk to is Rob Riggle. Rob Riggle, the comedian, retired lieutenant colonel. Let's see. I'm going to pull him up here real quick. The Sentinel. Okay, is the Sentinel? Because all I'm getting is like Judas Priest, so not the same Sentinel. The Centennial. Okay, I read that wrong. The Sen. Um, are we talking about Sentinel 360? Oh, okay. I think I found him here. I have not subscribed to him. Let me see. Lieutenant Colonel, USSC retired, commanded an infantry battalion in Afghan militia in combat. Discuss leadership, military, national security, no nonsense or BS. I like that. Good. Excellent. Subscribed. Thank you for showing me the way there. Good stuff. Brian Hahn. Hey, welcome, dude. Welcome. Brian Hahn, welcome to the Green Logbook. He said Drew Carey. What does Drew Carey do anything? Like, what does he do now? Wasn't he hosting a TV show or something? I don't know what he does now. Who the hell is Robin from the Howard Stern show? All right, now Tony Slaughter. I don't think you're. I think you're just throwing stuff out there. Who should I interview? Winnie the Pooh. Who like. I'm trying to copy and paste it for you. Okay, yeah, yeah. I think I have the copy and paste off, man. Because I was getting some crazy stuff on there. People just like bots were putting stuff on there. So yeah. Oh, she was Air Force. Okay, yeah. I wasn't aware of that. Okay. Is that still a thing? Is the Howard Stern show still a thing? Like, does that? I think he's like on Sirius Radio, or he was. I've not, I've not heard it in years. Yes, tracking. I do like that. Love yourself. Marines, just straight up. Um, I do enjoy those type of folks too. They're the last ones to let you down. I worked with many folks like that. I um, I like surrounding myself with people like that. Pat Sajak. Pat is that the dude from Jeopardy? Army Waff. Oh, Wheel of Fortune. Okay. Damn, man, you guys are taking me back. Like I haven't thought of any of these names for years. It was Army and the Nam. He did Wheel of Fortune for years. Okay, yeah, I know of Pat Sajak. Yeah, that's crazy stuff on you. I would never think that these folks were service members. I mean, that'd be cool. Awesome. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, yeah. I mean, these are all great folks, man. I just have to get a hold of them and see if maybe they would want to share their stories, and talk a little bit about this stuff. He did VOA when he was there, Voices of America. Excellent, excellent. Yeah. Hold on a second. All right, Audie Murphy. Like, I got it, but I can't interview Audie Murphy. Didn't he pass away like years ago? Though I would love to. Uh, don't think that he'd be down for it. Shaggy. You know what interests me about Shaggy, right? The way he got his voice. He was attempting to mimic one of his drill instructors. And when he does his voice, you know, um, the Shaggy voice. One day, if you ever see me in person, ask me about the Shaggy voice, and I'll hook you up. I'm not going to do it on the live stream. I mean, yeah, Shaggy be Shaggy would be fun. If I did Shaggy's voice while I was interviewing Shaggy in his voice, would you be able to tell? It wasn't me. It wasn't him. Yeah, it wasn't him. Combat Bulldoze, right? And Tony Slaughter, I agree. I don't think it was him. I mean, they caught him in the shower and all the places, but it wasn't him. So if you're just joining, here's what happened earlier. Here's what's going on. What I introduced earlier was just a bunch of PowerPoints on 16 veteran-focused bills that are moving through Congress right now. They were introduced by the House Committee on Veterans Affairs. If you want the link to exactly what I'm talking about, I just literally went off of this link right here and pulled off the 16 different different bills that they're introducing. Now, here I'll hook you up here so you can track this as well with me. Excuse me. Where are we at? Where are we at? Let's open this beast up here. Where did you go? Gotcha. Gotcha. There we go. Now we download the file. And now let me open this beast. And then I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about here. So for folks who don't know what the heck I'm talking about when it comes to those bills, let me share this. I covered all these here. Okay. This is HR 2283, Recover Act, HR 6993, the Beacon Act, the Cruise Act, Improving Emergency Tech Opportunities for Veterans Act, which I think kind of goes hand in hand with Vet Tech 2.0 that the VA just introduced. And you can sign up for that come June, like here in a few weeks. U.S. Vets of FAS Act, Veterans Flight Training Responsibility Act of 2026, Blast Over Pressure Research and Mitigation Task Force. That's for folks who have experience like blasts and how it has affected their PTSD and TBI. VA Congressional Accountability Act, VA Fiscal Management and Modernization Act, the VIP Act, Board of Veterans Appeals Annual Report Transparency Act, National Cemetery Administration Annual Report Act of 2026, Improving SCRA Benefit Utilization Act. Essentially, that one is just kind of giving the information or better information to let folks know that they actually do rate SCRA benefits. If you rate a benefit and you don't know about it, do you actually have that benefit? Like if you don't ever use it or don't even know about it. End transcript withholding for Veterans Act, Veteran Opioid Emergency Treatment Act, and Fraud Reduction and Uncovering Deception Fraud in VA Disability Exams Act. So that one is a big one here. That's one that a lot of folks are talking about in this whole online YouTube veteran sphere, where the VA is looking to double down and find out who is doing the fraud or who is submitting fraudulent claims. So just know that. So yeah. Stop screen. There we go. Yeah, so a lot of good stuff. And I figured, you know what, if I'm going to do the research on this stuff, might as well push the research or push the findings forward to you all. And I just decided on, doing this impromptu live stream to help explain what I'm tracking and things that I'm subscribing to, like pressing notifications on. So when they do move forward and when they do pass or potentially add somebody on there, that it notifies me. So that way I'm tracking, so that way I can push the information forward again. Let me see. Love Yourself, U.S. Marine, NFL running back, Mike Anderson, Denver Broncos, Baltimore Ravens. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. He said, I'm not submitting bad claims. I'm too pretty for prison. Yeah, definitely don't do that thing. Don't do that. Because, yeah, prison. I've never been to prison myself, but I can't imagine that it's any good. I have toured many a prison, like military type, not prisons, but jails. What do they call them? Brigs, the Brigs, right? I've toured these many times as part of my job, but never had the reason for being in there. There was one that I toured where they had an active duty colonel in the brig, like he was there. So when you enter the brig, when the guards enter the brig, the inmates are supposed to stand at the window to put their faces at the window for accountability purposes, I suppose. And there was one, a colonel who was in the brig, taking orders from the lance corporal, who was the, I guess, the brig officer or the MP or whatever. So that's kind of a strange dynamic, huh? Damn, Tony Slaughter, man, you come up with one thing after another, dude. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about right now. Good hand strength. I was just backwards law, man. I was just trying to figure out where that was going. I'm trying to figure out where that was going. Oh, yeah, yeah. That's the case. Yeah, just strange. Sometimes backwards law, um, one of the strongest reactions or actions that one could have is silence. And it is just staring at somebody. And that prompts somebody to keep on speaking, to explain themselves a little bit more. Sometimes it's out of nervousness. Sometimes it's because maybe they want to continue sharing, right? And that's how you get people to volunteer information sometimes. So if you ever see me out there in public, and I don't speak a lot, but I'll just look at people and wonder, and then that gets them talking. And I'm just kind of I'm in receive mode. People have shared a lot with me, probably more than they should have, and that's because I just stay quiet. It's a good way to get information. Yeah, learn that as an MP. Stand there and look at them as if they tell you some BS would unnerve them more than anything else. Yeah. So if you ever, what's this gentleman's name? Let me see. I got his book up here. Chris Voss. Chris Voss. Okay. So he has this guy is an FBI negotiator, Chris Voss. He runs this group called the Black Swan Group. And I found out about this gentleman through the what's the masterclass app, the masterclass. This is your masterclass or whatever. He was giving a masterclass on FBI negotiations, and I was on a flight. I was watching the video, and it was very, very just the opening of it was very intriguing. And there's a way to ask questions where you kind of repeat back what the people are saying that prompts them to continue talking to you. Like if somebody says, "Hey, you need to if you go to prison, you got to have good hands." Oh, you have to have good hands, huh? And then that kind of prompts them to continue on with their story. So it's pretty. If you haven't seen the masterclass by Chris Voss, or if you haven't read his book, Never Split the Difference, definitely recommend that. Definitely recommend it. The dude has, he's got a good way of thinking about this, like, different perspectives. So yes, when you say stand there and stare at them until they volunteer information, I completely understand what you mean. Yeah. So this Sunday, for everybody just just joining the chat this Sunday, I will be on a live stream right here with David Piatek, who runs the VA Housing Education YouTube channel. We're going to be talking about VA home loans and other veteran benefits. He's been on other YouTube channels as well, the CivDiv. I can't remember the other gentleman's name who talks about VA disability ratings and claims, but he's been on several channels. So he reached out to me at one point. We connected, and I'm like, yeah, let's do it, man. You know, let's bring the people what they want. More information on veteran benefits. Why not? So that's exactly what we're going to do. Then come Monday, Memorial Day, right? I plan on going to the cemetery, the veteran cemetery, and paying my respects and putting a little flag there. And then afterwards, that evening, you can join myself, the CivDiv, Raider HQ, the Salty Old Marine, Concise Psych, and my co-host John from Military Retirement Podcast on a live stream to remember those who came before us and to talk about veteran benefits and to talk about whatever we talk about on our live streams. Backwoods Law, good to see you, buddy. Welcome back anytime. So all that stuff coming about. Can't wait for it to happen. Just going to try something here real quick. I've never actually done this, but let's see. No, actually, never mind. I'm not going to try that. Yeah, so where the heck was I? Here it goes. Does anybody have any requests on topics that they want to hear come the Memorial Day live stream? I'll be covering stuff on VRNE, updated legislation, and I'm sure there's going to be questions about VA claims and stuff like that. So I'm curious about what folks out there want to hear. Unsung Veteran, what's going on? Welcome to the Green Logbook, dude. Excellent stuff, dude. Good to have you. Hey, you know what? I'm going to put this out there here. If anybody wants to jump on this, here we go. Got a few folks in the room. If anybody wants to jump on here, tell me how your day is going. Tell me how life is going for you. And if any of these 16 veteran-focused bills that I mentioned earlier may affect you, what do you think about that? Here's a link to the live stream. Jump on if you so dare. Would love to have you. Even if for a few minutes, would love to have you. I don't have my coffee in hand, but I do have my water. Hydration is key. While we're on this, I want to give a shout out to my channel sponsor, American Fidelity Life Insurance, amfilife.com. These dudes are awesome. This company is awesome. Okay, they take care of veterans. They've been doing it for quite some time, and I mean, they were started by a veteran, and they continue supporting the community. So, American Fidelity Life Insurance, awesome folks to have in your corner. Let me see here. Just going to the comments here real quick. I saw the line up of podcasters. Looks like it will be a great time. Yes, sir, it will be. I'm hoping so. Right? Again, I got a hold of these folks. via email. I'm like, hey guys, I think this would be a good thing to have for the veteran community on YouTube. Just a bunch of us talking about, Memorial Day, remembering those who came before us, and also talking about what we talk about normally. So again, it's going to be myself, the Civ Div, Raider HQ, Salty Old Marine, Concise Psych, that's Doc Sharma, and my co-host John from the Military Retirement Podcast, and we're going to be talking up some good stuff. Just I don't know if I'll be having coffee at 4 p.m. Pacific, but maybe some decaf. I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to get the jitters after. Yeah. Oh, okay. I just tuned in, so I'm not tracking the bills in Congress. Yeah. So I'm glad you brought that up, man. I made this handy dandy little cheat sheet here. So I started off the live stream by actually covering every one of those in depth. I guess if you wanted to go back to the beginning of the live stream, you could do that. But I made this little cheat sheet on here that I can share. Let's bring that up to the screen here. Some of the things may affect some veterans out there. Some of the things affect active duty service members out there. So let's see. Let's share this beast. Oh, yeah. There we go. 16 veteran bills moved out of committee. So these are straight from the House Committee on Veterans Affairs. I think the biggest one that folks are looking at is probably HR 5723, Fraud Reduction and Uncovering Deception in the VA Disability Exams Act. Essentially, they're just trying to track down folks who were, what the hell happened here? Here we go. They're just trying to track down folks who were submitting false claims, and I think somebody mentioned it in the channel here, in the chat, that potentially they'll be going after these claim sharks who are using canned responses for claim submissions. As I understand it, there are some of these claim sharks use these same attorneys who in turn use the same verbiage or language for submitting these claims. So that can easily be found through AI, right? When the VAs started introducing the whole AI thing and people started panicking, well, I mean, it's for good reason, right? They're going to be tracking down these claim sharks. They're going to be finding out who they're using. And I mean, it's not that hard to find the canned responses. So yeah, it's unfortunate that it's happening. And hopefully it does not affect the veteran themselves. Because, a lot of these veterans, they don't know. They just want their improved VA disability percentage. So they're willing to pay for that, right? Like, hey, can somebody help me out? And they don't know that this claim organization has been utilizing the same responses, the same verbiage over and over again that got this person, that got other people 100%. They just don't know. So let me see. When you call the VA, they have people from all over the country. When you call the VA, they have people from all over the country. I would assume so. Yeah, I would assume they do have people from all over the country. Yeah. Hey, what's going on, man? Is this John? Is this the real John Goofy Smith?
Hold on, I gotta.
All right, man. Just let me know. Just give me a thumbs up when you're ready, man. He said, I spoke with a guy from Texas. Oh, when you call the VA for something. Okay. Yeah, they're all over the place, man. All right, my man. What's going on, John? How you doing, man?
Oh, I see what I gotta do. I gotta mute this one. All right, cool. No, I was trying to figure out why I was getting double audio.
Oh man, yeah. So are you watching both on the StreamYard and over on YouTube as well?
I think I'm good now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, no, I just had to mute the one on YouTube.
So how is the podcasting going for you, man? The Unsung Veteran. How is that going for you?
I think it's doing okay. It's kind of growing a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think and this is for everybody who wants to start one, I think expectations is like, it's going to grow or it's not. You just got to stay consistent and stick to what you're doing.
Brother, consistency is the key, man. I'm telling you, there's so many folks that I see that drop out after so little time. I'm like, man, if you would have kept going, you're in a good niche.
Yeah, I'm getting close to my 100 subscriber goal. So I don't know if that's a goal, but I'm getting there. I'm like 4 subs away, and I think that's like a pretty good Well,
I'll tell you what, man. Let me see if we can get you there right now. So give me a second here. It's just the Unsung Veteran, right? I'm going to share the link.
No, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's funny you asked about that. I got on just to talk shop with you or just talk what you were talking about. I have no interest in that. I have no idea what's going on with those Congress bills. I haven't been following them.
Oh, no worries, man. So they just dropped this stuff probably about 5 days ago. It was from the House Committee on Veterans Affairs. And I don't know why they dropped like 16 at one time. I don't know if they were just accumulating and then they just like all of a sudden dropped them out on May 14th. But I mean, there's a lot in there that have to do with, some active duty, a lot of veteran stuff, a lot of accountability stuff, some education and training things, so 16 different bills that they're introducing.
Yeah.
16. Yeah. So the biggest one I think was the, let me see if I can bring it up on this thing.
Yeah. You were talking about the fraud one. I mean,
yep.
I have heard that because you hear about it all the time in news. I guess there's like fear mongering about people worried about, losing their rating or whatnot. But the biggest thing they're looking for is people who aren't ever veterans that submit claims, which happens quite a bit.
People who are not ever veterans?
Yeah, there's like people who never served that will try to submit for a VA claim.
Oh, I've heard of that. I didn't know that was like, there was a lot of people that did that. Like, how would that even happen? Like, you can't show records or anything. Like, they just fabricated it.
I would assume the same way they have people who aren't citizens voting. They have either stolen identity, stolen Social Security cards, or just submitting a claim, and depending on, how backed up the system is, hoping that it just gets through the cracks.
Yeah. And then, they fabricate all this stuff. They get paid for it. And I mean, at least the ones that I've seen lately, like there was somebody brought it up in the chat too. There was some dude who was like 78 years old and or 70 something, and he was blind. And then this dude, I guess he was faking the blindness. They're saying that he stole $245,000 from the VA because he was receiving VA benefits, right? And I did the quick math on there. I did like math for Marines, and it was like they were paying him out like $5,000 a month. It was insane, and he received that in like 4 years.
Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, I guess I looked it up. It's like the non-veteran stuff is very, very rare, but it's like less than 0.1%. But
yeah, I have to assume it is, man, because I've seen it here sparingly though. Then you got Tony Slaughter to ask you a question there, John. When did you enlist?
I'm sorry, when did I enlist? Like originally 2003. So 2003, it was August, and then I retired August 2023. So 20 years on the dot.
So yeah, so Tony Slaughter, if you're still there, John and I have almost the same service dates, because I enlisted in November of 2003 and retired 1 December of 2023. So a year and a month, or 20 years and 1 month.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure I understand what he's asking. Have you heard anything about the water?
Is Tony Slaughter, are you in the bathtub right now, dude? About the, I like, you mean like the Camp Lejeune drinking water? Is that what you mean? So real quick, while we're standing by for Tony Slaughter, let me share with you what I pulled off of here. So this was the Fraud in the VA Disability Exams Act. Requires the VA to identify and report suspected fraud involving disability benefits questionnaires, the DBQs. Requires a recurring audit process and routes suspected fraud to investigatory bodies, including the VA OIG, and limits reporting financial decisions unless there is a related criminal conviction. So, I mean, it sounds like they're just going to go after these claim sharks or these organizations that are doing this stuff, not specifically like the veteran themselves.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a whole lot that I introduced on here, man. I didn't introduce some of that. I was doing some research and I thought, hey, maybe more people need to know about this stuff, you know?
And it looks like you put together a PowerPoint. Sweet.
Dude, there's some things that just don't leave you. And I was like, you know what? What's the best way to get this stuff across to folks, you know? And instead of me just staring at at the camera, just like, hey, this is HR so-and-so. Let me give you all a visual aid and take the eyes off of me here.
I was actually building PowerPoints this morning for my job and building classes. And boy, I don't like looking at those things. So.
No, hell no, man. Hell no. Let me see the water on the depot as AFFF on the depot. Oh, on Paris Island.
I'm sure it's all going to kill us.
Yeah. Well, I know. So there was a time where oh, what's this? Am I getting a phone call here? Give me a second. How do I? Okay. There we go. Getting a phone call. I thought I silenced this thing. Of course, it gives me phone calls. No, there was a time we were doing, you remember the Daily 16s or the Daily 7s?
Yeah.
Of course. Give me a second here.
That's when they first started introducing like HIT, right?
Yeah, it is. So sorry about that, man. I was like, I have this thing on the phone now where it screens the calls. And if people continuously try to call, it will go through. But I'm like, I don't even recognize the number. So I paused it. But yeah, it was the Daily 16s, Daily 7s, right? When they were introducing the whole HIT thing and the dynamic warm-ups and all that. And we were sitting there on the grass and had this knucklehead Marine. And first off, all of Camp Lejeune, before it was a military installation, it was farms. It was all farms, right? And a lot of it was Green Onion, right where like the command building is, you know, where that roundabout is on Lejeune Way or whatever it is. By the track, you know, if you've been out there, there is a big field there and it's all full of green onions. Like, so when the landscapers don't come and cut it in time, you know, you can see the green onions sprouting up. We're sitting there doing our stretches and I see this knucklehead eating the green onions, you know, one of my Marines. He's like, cause you can smell them too, you know? So he's like eating the green onions. And I'm like, hey dude, like this is probably not the place where you want to eat freaking produce from the ground, my man. So this guy.
I wonder, because I live out here in Yuma and I was stationed out here in Yuma for, you know, a lot of my career. And the water out here, I don't know if it's as bad as Camp Lejeune, but the water out here has like so much, what do you call it? It's like metals, like heavy metals. It's really bad for you. It's very toxic. And we think it has a lot to do with like the fact there's an airfield here and there's like bulk fuel gets in the soil. There's also farming here too, not to mention that because Yuma's huge farming. You got to be very careful. So you mentioned farming out there. I wonder if Lejeune, because it's also an air base as well. There's like, they got, you know, helicopters and stuff out there. I wonder if that has a lot to do with it as well.
Probably, man. Like, so we were, when I was over in K Bay, in Kaneohe Bay, they, you live on base. We lived on base, and you have this little yard, like tiny little yard. And then I started, like, I planted a palm tree back there. My neighbors started planting fruit trees. Hey, we're going to be here for 3 years. Plant some fruit trees. And I'm like, have you talked to the base housing folks about it yet? He's like, no, why does it matter? I'm like, well, they're going to tell you don't plant the stuff if it's edible. Because for one, that the water they spray here and all the crap that's in the ground, like the fuel and all that stuff. So yeah, it's a thing, man. These military installations, man, you don't eat shit that grows out of the ground there.
Well, I think the newest thing, talking about VA stuff, I don't know how long. The newest thing that's coming out is how poison MREs are for everybody. They've been finding like lots of crap, and I think that's what I was reading. Yeah, MREs.
Hold on a second.
Pull up an article and share it with you.
Poison MREs. Test
like literally been shared recently. Hold on. As of February, they found pesticides, heavy metals, and nutrient gaps.
Dude, what?
And this is going on about for years. Dangerous toxins found in MREs. And now, they're finding this, but then how long do we got to go back with people who were, that's all they were consuming?
Bro, I mean, I was just at the commissary. They sell MREs at the commissary. They still do,
Well, they're toxic.
Like, why are they still selling this? Oh, no. That's terrible, man.
It's what, the 5 fingers of death? You remember that one? Like the old one?
Yeah, the little sausages.
It's so serious. It's actually
it's terrible.
It's actually toxic for you.
Yeah, there you go. Don't. So if you're eating MREs right now, put down your 5 baby fingers and just stand by, throw that thing out, because these things are toxic, apparently. I need to do a video on this, man. Thank you for letting me know. MREs. I'll probably sit there with an MRE, just kind of opening it up.
What was the one I hated the most? I want to say, dude, it was either between. There was one that had like some shrimp in it, but it wasn't real shrimp. It tasted really gross.
Oh no! It's like was it dehydrated shrimp that you had to add water to or something?
Yeah, I avoided it like the plague. That and then the black bean burrito, which had no taste. I don't even know what that thing was.
No, that sounds terrible, dude. I used to like Chili Mac.
Chili Mac's Chili Mac was like that's the one you would fight over right there.
yeah, the Chili Mac, and I can't remember the other ones.
I actually liked the
milkshake sucked.
tortellini, but nobody else did because it's like a
that one wasn't bad. It wasn't too bad.
Everybody's like, oh, it's vegetarian, but I liked it because it came with Skittles. I remember particularly, it wasn't bad, and it came with Skittles. So
yeah, right. So I mean, those are good. I mean, they we had some dude on the chat. He mentioned that he collects the little tissues. Like he hasn't bought toilet paper in years because he collects the little tissues from MREs.
Dude, I remember one day, I was in like Iraq on deployment, and sure enough, I had to use the MRE toilet paper because I don't know if when you deployed, like toilet paper was like currency.
Yeah,
and you'd go to the porta shitters, and sometimes like people would take whatever toilet paper out of there because it was like currency, so it was never toilet paper in there. At one point, I had ran out, and I remember I had to like gather up my MRE stuff, and I'm talking about these little tiny squares that are like paper thin. Your finger, dude. I don't know how anybody would use that if they.
No, dude, you got to go John Wayne on it. if you've served for I don't know over 20 years or 20 years ago, then you all know what the John Wayne is. When you only have a sheet of paper, you got to go John Wayne on it, man. There's no way around it. That or the 3 seashells.
The 3 seashells.
The 3 seashells, man.
I just know there was one time I had to, and I'm sure this happened to. I know this has happened to every service member. So I'm gonna say it's happened to you too, but you can deny it. Like when you're doing your like your 3 to 5 mile run and you gotta take a shit, and you ain't got nothing, so you come back with no socks. you know.
Bro, there was yes, I know what you're talking about, but there was a time. You've been to Camp Pendleton, yes?
Yeah. I've been stationed
Camp
there.
Pendleton. Yeah, so there's those they got different runs to the mountains, fire break right, fire break
Yeah.
left, and all those. There was times where, you just gotta go. So you gotta go behind bushes, and then you're going, and then all of a sudden, somebody from your platoon or whatever, maybe like a senior like an officer or somebody, while you're a lance corporal, is you're just trying to squat there, and they're coming by, they're like, hey, you okay? And I'm like, don't come any closer, stop. Those things happen, man. Like, please don't come any closer.
You could have
So
just went full in and said, hey, give me a hand, hold me while I squat.
Or when you go do your analysis, and you're like, hey, you look dead into the eyes of the observer, who is just some PFC who was assigned to do this stuff. And you're like, hey, I need to make a sit down head call. Are you ready? And he's like, sir, what?
Actually, I had to be a pecker checker a few times. I'm sure you've used those lingos. I think it's like every sergeant, because as soon as I got promoted to sergeant, I feel like
you're on the roster.
Anointed me the pecker checker, like you were him.
You're on the roster.
But yeah, every time somebody was like, yeah, I gotta go number 2. I would like, no, Dale, you can come back later. You can come back at the end of the afternoon. I'm not. Go in there, handle your business. Ain't nobody paying me enough to watch that. Like
That's right. Right. Yeah. I mean, you as soon as you hit a certain rank, man, they put you on that roster. You're eligible now, right? You go through the classes and all that stuff. And I mean, if people got to make a sit down head call, come back later, hold it, come back later. Because per the order. And I remember messing with folks about this, I'm like, you go in, you do your analysis, and people kind of stand off to the side. So I'm like, hey, the order says you need to watch the fluid leaving the body. So let's go. And they're like, oh, I'm like, I'm just kidding, dog. Go.
I would always try to help people out. I'd stand in the back, turn on all the faucets.
Turn the water. Yeah.
I'd ask them if they need me to sing them a tune. Like, my body lies over the ocean.
That probably made them like, they probably couldn't go for days after that. Like, oh shit, this guy's singing behind my ear. Yeah. Heavy breathing behind my shoulder. What's going on?
Whatever.
Yeah, man. Yeah, those were the times, huh? Those were the times. But yeah, dude, it's and I still got, I'm sure you do too, friends who are still active duty, still serving and stuff. So we talk about it. I just went to a friend's promotion not too long ago, and we share a lot of BS that still happens to this day. Even though these knuckleheads have moved on to different duty stations, you still know somebody out there who knows them. Like, oh, you ever work with so and so? You'll never believe what this guy. I'm like, well, no, I do believe it, because this guy was a knucklehead. Yeah. Tony Slaughter used napkins from the chow hall. Yeah, you know that, or the brown bags. The brown bags where your fast chow comes from.
Well, I only made that mistake once. As soon as I had to use the little MRE toiletries, I made sure that every box that was sent to me by my loved ones had a couple rolls of toilet paper in it. So I was like, don't send me anything else.
Did you deploy at all?
Yeah, like 4 times. Yeah.
What was in your did you ever get connected with people who sent you care packages?
Yeah.
What was in your care packages, or what did you request, if you ever got a chance to request anything?
My number one request besides toilet paper was Chef Boyardee, like raviolis. I don't know why.
Wow.
I would eat those things out of the can because you could pop them. You didn't have to warm them up. They taste delicious.
Yeah.
Raviolis.
Oh man.
What else? I mean, I've always been like, I would get Arizona sweet teas in a can because I always, I didn't get those enough on deployment, and I was big into sweet tea. And then Yeah, sour candies, whatever sour candies I get. Oh, and like
Candies.
sunflower seeds, snacks.
Sunflower seeds.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a must. A must. Yeah, dude. Like they you'd get your care packages from like just random people, like they just, for whoever, and then they'd have random stuff in there, right? Then there was a program where they actually linked you up with people, like just somebody from the States, like that would send you care packages, like, hey, like a pen pal or something like that.
Mhm.
And I don't know who this person was. She was like an English teacher or something like that, and asked me like, what would you like in your care package? I'm like, I want lifting straps and I want protein. Because when there's downtime, what do you do out there, right? Just like, I guess you work out.
I guess you just made me look like the fat kid. I'm over here like asking
No.
sour candies.
No, I wanted candies too. Trust me, I wanted candies too, man. But I'm like, I wanted protein and I wanted lifting straps, so that's what I would ask for.
I was actually
and then
bulking when I was deployed. This was 2006. I was really scrawny when I joined. I was like $150, and I wanted to bulk up. And I was working out. Yeah, when you're not, on post, because we were doing security, I'd work out like 6 days a week. But I was taking a lot of weight gainer. So yeah, I was taking protein and weight gainer too, like trying to bulk.
Yeah, that's the best time to do it, right? I mean, do you really have weigh-ins and stuff while you're deployed? I don't know.
I never once was overweight in my entire career.
Well, I will tell you something. I only made weight once in my entire career. Every other time I had to get taped. And I mean, I made the tape just fine.
Yeah.
But it was like, I was always on the heavier side.
Yeah, I have friends that way too. I never liked the system. I feel like they had to figure, and it's still broken. Like they have to figure out a better way to do that, because you have, when I first joined, I was actually on the lighter side where I was underweight, which I would go. They'd send me at boot camp to go get double rats, and even out once I got into the fleet, I had to make sure I was eating a lot and trying to bulk because I was constantly getting close to my underweight. So later on in my career, as you get older, you're going to get bigger anyway. Yeah, I never worried about being overweight. Even when I retired, I was still within weight limits without trying. But I'm also 6'2", so that's not fair.
Dude, I think I'm 6 foot, right? And I think I was always right around 205 to 215. And then I retired and got up to 230. But then, I'm just, I definitely feel it in the knees, right? But, just try to, once you no longer have to do weigh-ins, it's like, at least for me, I got comfortable. So I'm like, no, I got to whip myself back in shape now. So that's exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah, I got to get there. I'm still, if I had to weigh in today, I wouldn't pass, because I think for my height, I could weigh up to 214, and I'm around 215, 220. So
yeah,
it'd be
mine was 203, 203. There was one time I was a damn PFC, first time in the fleet, and it took like a whole year to get like the first weigh in. I guess they never did it, so I was like just like kind of bulking and going to the gym, and I got up to about 220. And then the guys, they messed with me. They're like, hey, if you don't make the weight, they're going to kick you out. Like, they're going to court martial you, man. And I'm like, what? I mean, this is coming from like the sergeants and staff sergeants. And I'm like, oh, hell no. So I lost about 28 pounds that month, the following month.
Holy crap.
I was like, I showed up to the scale. My lips were like white, dude. I was like, just terrible.
Jeez.
Terrible. I was in and out of the sauna. I was on the freaking elliptical and the bicycle just every day, fasting, and I was just sipping water. It was terrible, man. And then when I found out about it, I'm like, dude, you telling me I could have freaking taped? I was pissed.
Yeah. Well, I was saying that whole system, I feel like, they don't change it, so I guess they got it figured out. But I saw a lot of my buddies, at least a couple of my buddies who were running like 280 PFTs. And when the weight when the standards changed back, I want to say it was circa 2014,
Oh yeah,
Even though
285
they're
and
running
above.
280 PFTs, they were
Yep.
kicked out for their weight. And I'm like,
Mhm.
they were just bigger dudes. Like,
Yeah.
why don't you want it? Yeah, I mean, he did look big, like kind of fat in uniform, but he also could lift a truck. So
Right.
like
But
I
then
would want him on my team anyway.
yeah, and they had this thing where it was like the commander's discretion,
Yep.
where it's like, hey, if you made the weight, but the CEO believes that you look bad in uniform, if you look like a freaking soup sandwich, then hey, you're gonna go on BCP to fix that. So let me see here. See, there's a silly picture I saw in here one time. Dude was looked like a damn like Quasimodo in uniform. Oh gosh, where is it? Yeah, it'll come up. Whatever, it'll come up. But anyway, yeah, you got some folks who had like weird bodies, man, and they couldn't make the weight, and but they'd make the tape. Guy had a 40-inch waist with like a 30-inch neck. He's making it.
Oh, you just remind me of this guy we named. His name was well, I ain't gonna give his real name, but we used to call him Neck Norris.
Neck.
Well, because it was around the time Chuck Norris jokes were real popular.
Yeah.
So we called him Neck Norris, but he was like beyond fat. But his neck was bigger than his head. So he would always tape. And it's like, bro.
That's how it is. There was we go in for like the weigh-ins, and I'd randomly see people outside of the S3, and these cats are doing push-ups outside the S3, like, or in the bathroom. And I'm like, what the hell?
Oh
are
yeah,
y'all
to
doing?
get their arm. Yeah.
Well, no, to get the this, like, they're walking in like this. to get their chest all pumped up and their neck all pumped up.
Yeah. I had a sergeant who I was sending to sergeant's course, and he was close on weight. And I remember I was a gunny at the time. I was like, hey, dude, he made weight. Like I measured him. He was fine, but it was close. I was like, you need to make sure you're down at sergeant's course. They're not going to play with you. Like there is no, like if you're close, they're going to probably be closer on the you failed side because the way they tape down there. I don't know. And this dude's literally chopping his neck. He's like karate chopping his neck.
Yeah, I've seen that before. Yeah, I've seen that. The karate chops. Crazy. People do anything, man. Like they caught some dude. You do the height and weight, and you got to put your back up against the wall, and they take your height there. Caught this dude wearing multiple socks. And I'm like, well, I got to think like that's not going to give you that much weight or that much height unless you wear like 10 socks because it compresses under your body weight.
Yeah.
But this dude they were wondering why this guy's like leg was like this, but his sock was so much thicker. It's like, I know your foot's not that fat, dude. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Isn't it adding weight to him anyway?
No, it probably does. But he was like, I don't know. I guess he was trying to get taller or something. So he's got his back up against there. I didn't see the guy. I just heard it. I'm like, man, we got this guy who was wearing multiple socks during the height and weight. I'm like, oh, shit. Well, I guess that's that. So, yeah, multiple socks or just like those pads under your heels or something, make you a little bit taller.
Yeah, on our height and weights when I was a gunny, I had a bunch of guys like yourself that would have to cut weight to tape or whatever it was. And I always felt bad for him. I'd sit there. We'd do our weigh-ins because I was the CPTR. And so I was doing the weigh-ins a lot of times. And I'd have a box of donuts ready for them once they were done weighing in. Because I know they needed to eat. So I was like, no. You just guys weigh in and grab a donut.
Oh, hell no. They're watching. They're looking at their salivating. Oh, shit. Oh, damn. Give them a protein bar at least.
I always had a big old box of donuts after their weigh-in. I was like, no, man, you go get yours.
And if they don't make it, you don't get one. That's it.
Yeah, that's a whole other discussion. Go get in the office real quick.
Yeah, right. Go close the door real quick. Just yeah, man. I don't miss those days. I don't miss those days. That's I got a buddy of mine he's another Chief Warrant Officer 3, lives down the road, and he's always like, man, he gives me the old Danny Glover line, like, I'm getting too old for this shit, and because he's been in for like 26 years and or 25 years, and I'm like, I always give him crap. I'm like, when are you going to retire, dude? Like, I know you hate running. Like, I know you ain't fast like you used to be, man. He's like, man, I'm just trying to make it to my 27 or whatever. I'm like, all right, well.
Might as well go to 30 at that point.
Yeah, right? Yeah. But I don't know I can't remember how it works. Like, can you do 30 as a 3, Chief Warrant Officer 3? I know you can as a 4, I think. I can't recall, man. Yeah, I haven't looked at these orders in such a long time. Yeah, I'm not even stressing it. I'm just focused on my stuff now,
Me, I was 20 and out. Like, I ain't trying to even do 21. Get out of here with that.
Yeah, I mean, that was the plan, right? That was my plan as well. 20 and out, like, figure out what I want to do after this. Be young enough to do something else.
Yeah. I guess that's one of it. You bring up Danny Glover. He was 40 in that movie?
I do know he was 40. And he's like, I'm getting too old for this. And I'm like, he's just a little bit younger. Yeah. And I'm like, man, imagine me, dude. I was the same age as this dude when I retired. I'm getting too old for this shit.
Well, no, I just I feel like I look younger even now in my current state. I feel like I look younger. I'm in better shape than Danny Glover was in. Mind you, he also did the movie Predator 3, so that could be argued. But he's over here talking about he's too old at 40. I don't think 40 is that old.
No, it definitely isn't, dude. I feel good, probably better than I did last year. But yeah, I do recall reading about that. Like, he was like 40, and I'm like, I'm getting too old for this. I'm like, how bad is your life, bro? Like, I know that he was teamed up with Mel Gibson. They were running all over the streets, and this guy was like a year away from retirement, and he gets teamed up with Mel Gibson, who is like completely out there in the movie, so yeah, it's I guess if you have that going on, then you definitely feel it.
Yeah, that was right after the scene where he was like stuck on the toilet, right? Like the bomb on the toilet.
Probably. I can't recall. I gotta watch my Lethal Weapons again.
What's he said? Oh, there's some question in chat.
Tony Slaughter here. Have you guys had issues with sleep attacks?
What?
All right, so let me dissect this real quick. Getting attacked in my sleep? No.
That's what I'm thinking.
Sleep attacks, like not being able to breathe, like a la the sleep apnea. I've had that in the past, yes. Sleep attacks. I have woken up before, like, where it feels like I was choking. I don't know if that is to do with sleep apnea. I do. I'll tell you this, man. I have a cat, Tony Slaughter and John. I have this cat, and the cat doesn't like me. It's my wife's cat. I mean, we've had the cat for many years, but she takes to my wife, and I have this feeling like the cat looks at me. We keep our door open sometimes. She's free to walk about the house. And I look at her and I think to myself, if this cat wanted to, this cat could end my life in my sleep. And in that aspect, no, I've not had any sleep attacks, though I am wary of this cat. But let's see. Tony Slaughter says, like, when your head slumps forward.
Sounds like narcolepsy. If he's falling asleep all of a sudden, like
okay. No, I've not had that. Like, my head just forward and you fall asleep like this. I've not had that. No.
Yeah, I do it when my wife talks. No, I'm just messing with you.
I hope she's not watching this.
No, she don't watch anything I put on the internet.
No, I've not. No, I will say that if I'm sitting at like the DMV or something like that, or or sitting somewhere where it's very boring, I will just start kind of like almost dozing off, but I fight it because I want to be aware of my surroundings. So I will start dozing off, but I don't just fall asleep out of nowhere. No, hasn't happened to me. Hopefully it doesn't. My head doesn't slump forward. I mean, I have a large dome, so I don't know. Maybe, it's hard to keep it up sometimes, but no, it hasn't happened, unfortunately, or fortunately, Tony Slaughter.
Yeah, I haven't dealt with any sleep attacks. I have sleep apnea as well, and according to my wife, I choke every day. But, dude, have you ever? Actually, it just made me think about that. Have you ever heard that comedian that talks about what's his name? John. I'll have to look him up. There's this dude talks about sleep apnea choke attacks. Let me look him up real quick. Apnea. I'll look at his name, and then I want you to watch this video later.
Yeah.
Good laugh out of it. His name's Joe Coy.
Yeah, I know Joe Coy. Yeah, I went to go see him when I was in Hawaii.
Look up his bit on sleep apnea, and I would tell everybody in chat, if you have sleep apnea, look up Joe Coy's bit on sleep apnea. You'll get a good laugh out of it.
There's this comedian that I watch, and I can't remember his name. He's another Hawaii guy. My wife is from Hawaii, so we're very kind of in tune with that side of the culture there. But there's a comedian out there. God, I can't remember the guy's name, but he's like, you know what? So the west side of the island is like the locals only side. So his bit is like, hey man, you start off on the east side, which is like where the Marine Corps base is. He's like, as you drive more west, all of a sudden you have like a chicken in your truck and you're like driving with the chicken. It just appears in your arms. And then, you pass this highway, your arm is out the window, because you got to show off the tats, you show off the tats. And then you look really mean, but you're looking so mean, right? But you're having the best time of your life, and I'm like, man, that sounds like vets that I know. Like people driving around just like me. I'm driving around, I'm looking pissed, man. But in reality, I'm having the best time of my life sitting in that air-conditioned car. So, man, it's I can't remember the dude's name, man. It's so good, though. So good. I love that bit. But yeah, Tony Slaughter, man, I'm if that happens to you, man, I'm sorry it does, dude. It has not happened to me yet, or hopefully it doesn't. It says, John, did you ever do drill time? I was a drill sergeant in 1985.
I did not do drill time. I didn't do any B billets. So
yeah, and that we are also the same. I don't know about you, man. I tried to do gosh, what was it?
MSG.
MSG. There you go.
Everybody
MSG.
tries to do MSG.
I did. I applied for MSG the first time around when I was a what the fuck? Hold on a second. Fucking pack of dogs at my front door, man. What the hell? It's just like neighbors' dogs or something. But anyway, yeah, applied for MSG. Didn't make it the first time around, then got married, kids and all that stuff. And then I tried to do it for the deck commander position and no go. Both times we had too many people out on from our MOS. Then got hit up for recruiting. And at the same time I got hit up for recruiting, I also got selected for warrant officer. So they're like, which one are you going to do? I'm like, well, it's not going to be recruiting. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that much.
Like they had a choice at that point. Like,
right. Yeah. I mean, like I'm going to give up, a warrant officer nomination for recruiting. Come on now.
So I got histed for recruiting as well.
Yeah.
For me, just like, a lot of Marines that make it to the staff NCO ranks, I was going through my first divorce, which is a requirement to make it to Gunny. So, I was a staff sergeant going through my first divorce, trying to get that Gunny rank, and I get histed. Yeah. And I was trying to tell the recruiters, hey, I'm in the middle of a divorce. I got a kid. There's a custody battle. And they were like, yeah, we've heard that before. So they went ahead and sent me to recruiting. I did like 2 weeks in the recruiting school. I was doing phenomenal. And
Yep.
then, it comes to like the captain of the board or something. And they're like, anything we need to know about? And I was like, yeah, I'm in the middle of a divorce. These are the dates I got to show up to court. And they're like, oh, you were serious about that? I'm like, well, yeah, I wasn't
Why would
lying
you
about
lie?
it. And yeah, they dropped me from the course immediately. They're like, get out of here with it.
Damn.
I was like, can you just do better? Like, you could have saved me like the 2 weeks in the course. So
Right.
I ended up not doing recruiting, even though I was Histon. I did try to go to MSG. I was told I couldn't go because of my tattoos, which I didn't think my tattoos were that bad. And all my tattoos, I have like some on my chest and my arms and stuff. And they are all covered up by t-shirt because I never wanted to have a problem with any selections for anything. I was just like, if I'm gonna get a tattoo, I'll get it covered. But apparently when you go to MSG, they take a picture of your tattoo, whether it's covered or not. And I have like these skulls. I just think they look cool. They're like skulls on my chest and like on my arms. And they're like, what's your infatuation with death? And I was like, what? I was like, I just think they look cool.
It's going to happen to everybody.
I was like, I was 20 when I got them. I don't know what to tell you. And they literally turned me down because they said, well, what if you're at a pool party and somebody's offended by your tattoos? I was like, wait a second, MSG's having pool parties?
Oh, yeah, right? Like, hold on a second, man. At that point, I'll just carve it off my chest, man.
But that's like, she's over there because they had a psychologist. I guess they're trying to figure out everybody. I don't know. I wasn't allowed to go. But they're over there asking me what if at a pool party, and I'm over there like, tell me more about your pool party.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, what are you all hiding back here? No, I had to do that kind of same thing when I did the warrant officer package, and I had to name all the tattoos that I had, right? And I have like this little tribal thing on my back. It's a sacrificial. It's like a Peruvian sacrificial knife is what I have, right? And then I have this thing here, right? Goes all the way up here, and then I had to explain that, and then you had like, I guess the monitor, whoever's part of that, they're like, yeah. So what does this mean? What does that mean? And I'm like, I like any gang affiliation? I'm like, no. Like a gang affiliation, no. So yeah, you have to explain yourself on a lot of these things. But it's funny that they freaking mentioned the pool party. There are no pool parties at the warrant officer course. I'll tell you that.
No, it could have been the one on my back. I got Pennywise the clown on my back.
Shut the
like
fuck.
the original.
Shut the hell. Or do you really, Pennywise?
Yeah.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
I absolutely do.
Pennywise.
Again, I think I was like 19 when I got it. It's his face. So I got his face like plastered on my back, like almost like a tramp stamp. It's like between my shoulders. I don't know. And I remember them asking me like, what is this on your back? I was like, oh, it's Pennywise. And they're like, what? I was like, the evil clown from It. And they're like, why? And I'm like, I don't know. It looks cool.
Oh, hell no, man. Pennywise, dude. Oh gosh, hold on a second. There is a tattoo that I saw a while back, and I'm like, I always come across it every so often. I'm like, why would somebody do this themselves?
Well, the good news, the one on my back, I can't see it, so it's like I have no regrets anyway.
Yeah, and then like until you go to the beach and like, what the hell is that? And you're wondering what the hell they're talking about.
My kids always ask me why I have those tattoos. I'm like, I don't know. I was a dummy when I got them. Like, whatever.
He's not holding a balloon, is he?
No.
A balloon outside of a sewer.
It's unique, actually. It's a biohazard symbol, but instead of filling it, I took the biohazard symbol and I drew Pennywise's face inside of it. So it's just like, it's kind of hard to describe, but you can see it's a clown face inside a biohazard. I had designed it and I had somebody put it on my back. So yeah, it's no clown. It's no balloon or anything. Again, I don't know why I have it, but it definitely came up in that question with the psychologist. She's like, what is this on your back?
Uh, so the picture I'm looking for is I don't know if you ever come across it. It is the back of this man's head, and he has a Master Gunnery Sergeant tattoo on the entire back of his head. Have you seen that?
No. I guess that's not as bad as getting the rank, any other rank, because at least at that rank, you're not getting promoted anymore.
Yeah, well, yes. I do know a guy who got a tattoo on his leg. And it was kind of funny in that he was this man attempted to pull some rank on Facebook, on this Okinawa Facebook page. And then they began to kind of double down and share pictures of this person's profile on this page, right? Like, haha, how are you going to pull rank when you have this tattoo on your leg? And it's a tattoo goes around his leg of all his ranks. And but there's spaces there because he didn't make the last 2 ranks, right? So it's like an incomplete type of tattoo. So he had to fill it in with something. But they're like, somebody who has this tattoo would definitely pull rank on Facebook. And I'm like, oh no, I'm watching the comments. I'm like, no, this is terrible.
I don't know how people have time after their. Well, I'm assuming he was out, right? Or was he still in? Or
no, he was still in when he was pulling the rank. But then,
even that's funny because like outside of people that work directly for you and you're working, what are you doing on the internet trying to pull rank? Like.
Yeah, and it was shared with me. I have a good friend who's a Master Sergeant. This guy, he was, and this was many years. I mean, I was still active duty too, and then he shared it with me. He's like, "Hey, big man, you got to get your boy." And I'm like, "Who?" Let me see. And he shares the screenshots with me. I'm like, "No way." I'm like, "What are we doing here, man? Why are we pulling rank on Facebook?"
Did you know him?
Oh yeah. And I just
you knew who it was.
I did. I got that secondhand embarrassment, like, oh shit, just why? Yeah, definitely. Anybody out there, don't pull rank on Facebook, man. It's not a good look. Not a good look. God dang, I can't find this guy's head tattoo. I'm trying to find it. I used to be able to find it by putting in USMC head tattoo, but it's not coming up for some reason. I'll come across it at some point. Yeah, man. Crazy stuff, man. Always good to catch up with some old school Marine Corps stuff. I'm sure you have your fair share of knucklehead stories out there with some of these cats that work for you.
Yeah. On the, I think when you, well, I don't know if to me, there were more knucklehead stories of me being a knucklehead or covering up for being a knucklehead. I think, as I went up in the ranks, when I heard about the knucklehead stories, I was like, I'm just going to walk away and act like I didn't hear nothing right now.
Don't incriminate yourself. No, it's, yeah. I mean, you live and you learn. That's part of the way that the military works, right? I mean, you see your boy get hemmed up for something, you're like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't do that this weekend, Yeah. There was a one time I went to it was a get together with a bunch of friends, at somebody's apartment. And it was we didn't really know all the people there. But it was by word of mouth, like, hey, show up here. We're going to hang out here. I'm like, okay, cool. I didn't know the person. But we were outside talking, and I was probably like a Lance Corporal. We were outside talking, and my buddy was like, he got into it with some other dude out there. They were like barbecuing in the patio, and he slaps the guy with a piece of chicken. Like it was like he took it off the barbecue pit, just slaps the dude. And I was like, who is that guy even? And they're like, oh, that's First Lieutenant so-and-so. I was like, we got to go, bro. We got to go.
Oh.
Yeah, it's time.
Man, some of these lieutenants, they get wild. That's funny because that made me think of this. Well, he was a captain. He wasn't a lieutenant, but same difference.
Yeah.
Have you ever been out to Yuma?
Yeah, I've been out there.
So everybody's been to Yuma, and you could admit it or not. That's fine. Everybody's usually aware of Coin Night at the adult entertainment facility out here. It's like world renowned, but like they have like every Tuesday, at least I think it was Tuesdays. Any coin is any drink at the strip club. So of course you're going to attract in all the Marines. Because I mean, I'm coming in with a roll of pennies, bro. I'm getting all the drinks I can get. But that particular night, one of my buddies was in. We talked about stupid lieutenants. He's like hitting on this stripper, which is stupid anyway, because all she's doing is trying to take your money. She's going to be nice or whatever. But this captain tried to fight him over it because that was his stripper. I don't know. It was like this big. And mind you, me and my buddy were staff sergeants at the time. And he didn't know the captain. Like he didn't know that was another Marine. And it was an officer, but I did. So I'm over here like, dude, just chill.
Yeah.
Like,
Get it out.
I know we're in a place where rank don't matter, but like, you need to stop. Like, and then I'm telling the captain at the same time, like, you need to stop. Like, y'all both need to quit.
For real. Yeah. It's some of these folks, man. I'm telling you. I mean, I'm there with you. We gave this dude a ride who was like just super, just. He needed a ride back to base, and gosh, it was on. Was it Iwakuni? Probably Iwakuni. I don't know the guy. We just happened to be out, having a good time. Then this guy is like kind of stumbling. He's like, "Hey, you guys going back to base?" We're like, "Yeah, you need a ride back, dude." Like, and he's just like telling us his whacked out stories. And we go through the gate. And I was a sergeant at the time, and we just giving this guy crap about stuff. And we go through the gate, and then the gate guard, we go give him our IDs, and the gate guard salutes, and we're like, "Who?" And the dude with us was like some captain, right? I'm like, "Oh, no way, dude." I'm like, "All right, just get the hell out of the car, man. Just go do what you got to do. Get out of the car." So yeah, I mean they're out there, man. I mean, we did an investigation out in Iwakuni for these two lieutenants who were jumping from house to house. In Japan, in Iwakuni, these houses have like those porcelain tiles on top. Yeah. And somehow these guys climbed up the side of the houses, and the houses are so close together that they were just jumping from house to house and just breaking the tiles. And, the cops were called, they had them get down and all that stuff. And there was like investigation I went through, and, of course they were intoxicated. They had to go later on and do what they call a Gomenasai visit, a Gomena visit, right? Like an I'm sorry visit. Gomenasai means I'm sorry. And for some reason they brought them Pizza Hut, because there's no Pizza Hut in, I guess, that area of Japan. So they brought a bunch of Pizza Hut boxes, or it might have been Domino's or whatever we had at like the crossroads or the food court on base. And they brought them some of those and some other chocolates and gifts as an I'm sorry visit, to these people. So yeah, these young cats, man, I think it's because they're away from home for the first time. That's why I think.
I don't know what it is about Japan and people like scaling the sides of buildings.
You're out of the stateside element, so you feel more free to do things.
Because I've seen dudes have girls like hanging out like barracks rooms and doing the same thing you're talking about, like trying to go out the side of the window on the second or third floor. Like, is it what are we doing?
It's crazy, man. Something, when you're what's the saying? When you're away from the flagpole, things will happen, right? When you're closer to the flagpole, you got to make sure you're dressed right, and gig line, all that stuff, But when you're away from the flagpole, and I mean, it's still Iwakuni, right? It's still like a base there. Mm-hmm. But when you're outside of that, it's like you're in a part of a different culture. So I think that gets into people's minds, like, oh, I can do whatever I want, So that's not how it happens.
Well, hey
Not
Vic,
how
I
it
got it.
happens.
My daughter's
Yeah, do your thing,
telling me
man.
I
Do
got to
your thing.
make dinner. So appreciate you like throwing a link up, letting me on.
Yeah, man. Of course.
And then for all your listeners in chat, not really plugging my channel, but any veterans that want to come on and tell their story, shoot me an email, send me a text, whatever. My information's on my channel. I'm
Yeah,
I'm open
absolutely.
to hear anybody. So
Yeah. So the unsung veteran. Yeah. If you have folks in the chat, if you haven't already checked out the unsung veteran, definitely do so on YouTube. He's got a good stuff. He got some good stuff going on, some good interviews and things like that. So definitely check him out.
all right, man. Thanks.
Awesome, man. All right, John, man. Good talking to you.
Yep. Later.
All right. So yeah, that was John from the Unsung Veteran. Awesome stuff. Always good to connect with fellow vets and just hear what they got going on, hear their story. Let me see. What about the game? I don't know. What game are we talking about? Are we talking about I have no idea. Be be specific, Tony Slaughter. What game? So yeah, always good to connect with some fellow vets out there. If you didn't already know, we started off tonight's or today's live stream with 16 veteran-focused bills coming through Congress, and some of them may affect you, some of them may not. I got these bills straight from the House Committee on Veterans Affairs. I will share the link on here. If you want to see exactly what I was talking about with all these 16 bills, just go back a little bit once the live stream finishes and check them all out. I had a whole like nice PowerPoint and everything set up for you all. So, bam says, here you go. John's game. John's game. I can't speak for John. I don't know what his game entails. I suppose we could make up a game that he can play, but I know he was telling us that he had a tattoo of Pennywise on his back. So that's special. I've not seen that yet. If you have a tattoo, if you have a special tattoo, if you'd like to share what it is, please do so in the chat. Make me laugh. I should probably do this, right? I'm going to do an episode called Make Me Laugh and just bring people on here to see if they can make me laugh, because I tend to have a very stoic face every so often. So, and it is difficult for some people to make me laugh unless I do it myself. So a lot of good recommendations out there for folks who want to see different folks on different other veterans on the podcast or on the YouTube channel. I would love to talk to folks like, I think they brought up Lieutenant Colonel Khan, Sergeant Major Ruiz. I would love to talk to these folks. Maybe even folks from other services as well, Army, Air Force, Coast Guard, Space Force, anybody of note in the Space Force. I've never come across anybody in the Space Force before. So if anybody has any notable figures out there that's from the Space Force, let me know. Would love to connect. And I don't know who brought it up, but thank you for letting me know that about the MREs. I did not know that MREs had pesticides and heavy metals and nutrient gaps in food in the food. I had no idea. They still sell them at the exchanges or the commissaries. I still see them there. I shop at the commissary. MREs. Let me see. MRE meal issues. What do they have to say about MREs? Hidden dangers of MREs. Oh shoot. Yeah, I might stop eating MREs now. Who actually eats MREs out there? Like who still does that? Does anybody like set up like a Friday night dinner eating MREs? I'm sorry. I was just reading about this. My bad. I was enthralled by these MREs. It sucked me in. Yeah. So Tony Slaughter, I don't know what John's story was. He was in a ravine. Unfortunately, I cannot answer that. I don't know. We have to ask John next time he comes on. So we will see. But yes, this Sunday we're going to have David Piatek on the live stream. We're going to talk about VA benefits, VA housing benefits specifically. That is his bread and butter. So if you haven't checked him out, he is from the VA Housing Education YouTube channel. And on top of that, Monday, I will be live with a few other folks. We're doing a whole live stream lineup, including the CivDiv, including Raider HQ, including the Salty Old Marine, Concise Psych, and my co-host John from the Military Retirement Podcast. It is going to be one that you don't want to miss. These are some of the most impactful veterans on YouTube, and I'm just happy to be connected with them and talk to them for a bit, so and share the screen. So it's going to be a great time. Great time. So with that, unless anybody else has anything going on, you all got, let's go with 5 minutes. Ask me anything you want really quick. If you got anything, let me know and go. Question is, can Vic Dig help me out? Oh, correction. CivDiv. Can he help you out? With what specifically? I'm sure he could. I mean, he seems like a good fellow. If you had car trouble, he can give you a jump start. If maybe you popped a key off your keyboard, he can help you out. Don't know exactly with what, though. If it has anything to do with VA claims related, I'm sure he can. He does have a company where he does that now. It's called Born Claims, I believe it is. But I'm sure he can help you out. So with what, though, I don't know. I don't know what his left and right lateral limits are and what his capabilities and limitations are. But, he might be able to help you out. My VSO said I need to close a 20-year gap. That is a hell of a gap, my man. I would reach out directly to him. I believe if you go to his YouTube channel, I believe it has a link to his claims company. Explain your situation. See what he's got going on. I don't see why he wouldn't, at least point you in the right direction. But if I were you, and you still had that question lingering in your mind and you couldn't get a hold of him, hey, stop by on Monday during our Memorial Day live stream event, and you can speak to all of us directly. Myself, the Salty Old Marine, CivDiv, Raider HQ, John from Military Retirement Podcast, and Concise Psych. We're all here to have a good time, talk to you all about what we have going on, and get into some good veteran topics and remember those who came before us. So definitely look forward to it. With that, let me see. Yeah, again, Tony Slaughter, I'm sure he can assist you or point you in the right direction. So with that, that is the end of the live stream. I'm coming to a close now, and I got to do some homework. I just got to do something. If I don't do it now, I'm never going to do it. So thank you all for joining me on this episode of the live stream. 16 veteran-focused bills coming through Congress. Here's what they do is how we started off the live stream. I shared them all. If you're still curious about all that stuff, go to the beginning of the live stream after it finishes. Check out, I had an entire PowerPoint for you. Check them all out. Good stuff, good information to know, and if I was researching it, why not share the information and the wealth with the rest of the veteran community out there? Thank you all for joining, and rest well, 660 love. Thank you for that. Tony Slaughter, good luck on homework. Thank you, sir. I truly appreciate it. This has been the Green Logbook.